My partner is Tom Burkett. We worked on an measurement of the health in freshwater ecosystems. Since we all know water is important, this is kind of maybe an association to what Save the Rain would be as well. We have somebody having a problem hearing, or can... I'll give everyone a few seconds. Okay. Okay, so the objective of this project is on our wiki, but I'm just going to read them off real fast, and then we'll file through the wiki real quick. But it's to encompass cooperative student learning. We're going to allow students to research and explore current environmental issues. It's going to actually encourage students to participate in a field extensive data collection and input field study. It's going to help students master many testing procedures that can be differentiated among many different levels, and I'll get to that as we look up on the posters here pretty soon. And it's going to allow students to choose from several different means to present their findings along the tests that they figure out. And at the end, if students want to get really proactive, they will have a chance to environmentally report the findings that they have. So we're still having a couple people that cannot hear, but I'm just gonna go on if that's okay. Is that okay, Dr. O'Connor?
Yeah, that seems to be what's working. You're coming in fine for me. Just toggle your speak button on and off. Maybe that'll make a difference. And it seems some can hear and some can't, and I can hear you very well. Yeah, maybe it's moving between pods.
Okay. Let me step up to the middle here a little bit. If everybody wants to look at the 3 posts, but at the end of the academic year's end, the participating teams of students are going to analyze the data that they collected, and they're going to choose from a list of several different methods of presentation, like I had mentioned before, and they will be able to illustrate the procedure, methods, relationships, conclusions that they draw upon from the measurements they get from these testing sites. And in addition, students are going to have an opportunity to present these findings to maybe a middle school class or a scientific symposium at the project's end. And that's where differentiation comes into play a little bit here, because some science symposiums are very highly academic kids that want to take it to the next level, and some kids just want to do what it takes to get by. And if we look at the middle poster, measuring Lodic water health, these are some of the basic tests that we would perform as instructors at these testing sites. And as you can see there, there's dissolved oxygen content, turbidity, and pH. You're going to take water temperature and air temperature levels, observe the weather conditions, measure salinity, as we used as our example in our wiki, which we'll see in a second, and the nitrate levels and other basic observations that you would do. And if you look to the right, students will also have an extra chance to suggest supplementary collection procedures. As we used as an example here, it's coliform bacteria, which is fecal material that ends up getting into our lakes and streams and whatnot, as we saw from Save the Rain. So now we're going to spin around, I guess, and look at that real quick.
Can I ask too, as you're talking, is this something Tom's actually run with his class? Has he
Yes, he
done this yet?
has.
Yeah, maybe he can tell
Yes.
Yes,
us
he
too
has.
how he likes it.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Can everyone hear me? Or
Yes.
okay, great. Uh, this this started out about 5 years ago, where we raised brook trout in our classroom, and we're only our school is close to a river. In our case, it happens to be the Bronx River. And in the spring, after raising them over the entire year, we went to the river and released the fingerlings into the river, just on the chance that this might have some community interest. I sent out a press release to the various newspapers around New York City, including the New York Times. They sent a reporter up to us, and they did a front page story on the release of the trout into the lake. That led us to think about the number one question that we kept getting was, did the trout survive, and as the population starting to grow there, and that led to the idea of uh, measuring the health of the river to see if the river was a successful place for releasing of these trout, because there were no fish in the river at the time. Uh, I I contacted the Parks Department and wondered if there was any way that they could help us get the testing equipment for uh, going to examine the health of our part of the river. And they liked the idea so much that they took our idea and they started an organization called the River Stewards, the Bronx River Stewards. And they got other schools to join into the program so that various stretches of the river now are analyzed on a weekly basis for about 10 different parameters. What we found out is, as the students collected the data on a weekly basis, we had them graph it, and they started to see connections between um, the various parameters that they were measuring. And I had them write a report about these connections that they were seeing. At the annual Parks Student Symposium that year, 6 schools presented using this idea that we had started in examining the river. And we were also invited up to Westchester County to do a presentation at the Westchester Student Symposium. So the students felt that their work really had some importance to it. They also ended up taking possession of one of the few natural resources that you find in the Bronx. And most of them didn't even know that there was a river running only about 3 blocks away from us, from where our school is. So we found out that it was a way of getting the students to actually do science rather than just learn about science. Now, as for getting equipment and exactly how how to set up an organization like this is, well, we recommend. Thanks very much. If anyone has any questions or would like to maybe attempt this in their school, feel free to contact me anytime, and I'll explain in more detail on how we got cooperation through different city agencies and things like that. So.
There's just so many different levels that you can take this idea to, and that's what makes it really, really great for anyone's classroom, because you can go at a minimal level or you can really take it to the extreme at whatever type of school system you're at.